Yeah, this was originally a hog barn for the farm. And these they have pens set up like this for farrowing or for the birthing of the hogs each spring.
Now around here, we certainly enjoy learning about and painting our four-legged friends here. However, the most celebrated paintings in the world often depict those who walk a little more upright. Oh, I'm sorry to break the news to you, Kitty. You run along. And these people often live or have lived lives different than our own. This is why it's so important that we can talk to others to help us paint these subjects correctly. Without their help, our ideas would be much more limited and we'd simply have to rely on guesswork for a lot of different things. In addition, many of these guests possess props, clothing, or backgrounds that are very hard to come by or make on your own. Some even step up to the plate and become great models as well. Our guests not only help us become better painters, but they make the show much more educational and interesting for all. Here's a few examples.
First of all, you have to remember that this is a reenactment.
To create the spark to ignite the weapon, a couple of people in our unit have brought down deer.
The Indians primarily would be trading corn, beans, squash, and certainly furs.
But the bee pollen is very important to the bees because without it, they can't raise brood. And without the bees, they don't pollinate the crops, and we don't have food to eat. Every third bite of food that you eat, you owe to a honeybee pollinating that crop.
So now what we want to do is go through our reference material and see if we can come up with good ideas.
They bought it for their own use, and it's kind of hard to put in a city lot. So they bring it down here and let us play with it while they're not using it.
Kind of Gauguin color, any of those brush strokes. But if you're really, really good, you can actually almost not rehearse. You can show them with your hands exactly what you want.
The breeches, the very formal button-down shirts with the very formal caps are what was typically worn.
This is Maple Sugar Time here at Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore, and we're showing different ways that maple sugar and maple syrup have been made throughout time.
Well, before we actually paint any of this, I'm kind of imagining composition where there's different layers of distance.
The Amish community uses the Belgians extensively for their farming purposes because they're gentle, they're very easy, willing workers, and they'll do what you're asked.
We have kind of a generational thing here I thought would be nice for a painting. The veterans teaching the younger ones how to do all this. So that's not only going to have more snow in it, it's going to influence the color, or what we call the mother color, of the entire picture. So that will be determining the color, even the colors that we have with our models in the landscape. It's going to be much different, kind of more of a bluish tone. And towards the end of the painting, we might even change this to falling snow. Well, if you're in the mood for adventure, you're in luck, because today we're going to visit some places and talk to some very exciting people who actually fly these planes and even flew these during the war. Well, this will help us do a painting to try and depict the excitement and drama it must have been to live during that period, with guns firing from every direction. it all started a while ago where I saw someone and I immediately thought of them as looking out of a castle window, maybe a castle tower window. And that's kind of what inspired the whole thing. And that's what we're going to show you on today's show. How to paint from your imagination and where you can find clothing and people to pose for things like this, and also give us advice on paintings like this.
As luck would have it, there she was, having a snack in her usual spot. This time it wasn't a social call, however. I was hoping she would offer a couple nice poses, adding some life to our new idea. Rolling video, I made sure to get a variety of angles close and far as well, knowing I may want to combine her with a different background shot later. That ended up being the case, as we see here.
Hello and welcome to the studio. I'm just preparing a little dinner for an old friend I'm expecting a little later. Meanwhile, you're invited to join us for a nice ride in the country. I know what you're thinking. Sounds like it could be chilly, but not to worry. It's more like we imagine this and show you how we painted it start to finish, and how we had to ponder a few difficult decisions along the way. So bundle up and bring a mug of your favorite hot beverage. It's all next on The Complete Painter. We have this painting here, and we're trying to get kind of a little bit of a spooky effect. I'm putting a little retouch varnish on some of these darker trees, but kind of this exercise was about, how do you get that more expressive kind of, almost kind of a spooky look. We have more texture on the canvas. We used a knife. Hi there, I'm Jeffrey, and on today's show we're going to paint a place where the workday begins at dawn. You're bound to get your hands dirty, and it seems there's always someone waiting on you to feed them. That's right, we're down on the farm today. And although it does have a barn, I was thinking that's been painted an awful lot. There's so much more one can paint once you learn a little bit more about daily life here. Now I haven't decided what I'll paint yet, so I invite you to sit back, kick off your shoes, and see what you would paint yourself. With so much going on around here, I'm sure we'll all find something interesting. So join me as we paint the farmer's life. You also have some free models a lot of times. This is the real McCoy. It's not one of your friends in some kind of costume. This is a real farmer doing what they really do. So try to keep that in mind, taking your time, getting to know the people of the places that you're painting, because we're basically trying to document their lives with this painting. That's kind of what this is all about, and the more that we know about them, the better. Well, I hope you enjoyed our Down on the Farm special. And before we go, just something to think about. These farm paintings are not just something that's nostalgic or pretty to look at. They certainly are, but they're also an important reminder where our food actually comes from. So we artists have a unique opportunity to pay tribute to these hardworking people. Till next time, from all of us here, we hope to see you again soon.